All right, we are backstage at Soundwave at Brisbane, and I have the boys from Trivium here. Awesome to see you both again.
Likewise.
Welcome back to the country.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Way too long.
Yeah, and you are doing this almost like a 2-year cycle thing that we see a lot of bands doing, which is really positive because, one, new album, so we get to hear new stuff, and two, we love you here. So
we want to try to break that and come back more than right now. This once every 2 years ain't enough.
Not enough for us?
No.
What is it that we do here that makes you want to come back? What is it? Do we do anything in particular that...
Every time we've played Soundwave, the crowds have been amazing. And even I remember a couple years ago playing, like, I believe every year it starts in Brisbane.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember a couple years ago we played and we went on stage and, like, just had a terrible, like, monitor situation where we couldn't really hear anything. And then after, like, the first song, the crowd was going so crazy, knocking like the fences over, and then you just kind of forgot about like how terrible it sounded on stage, and you were just kind of focused in on just like how high the energy was in the crowd. So it's like the crowds here have always been, no matter if it was a headlining show or we did like those Slipknot off dates a couple years ago, like no matter what type of show we play, the crowds are always just like super intense and just like ready to have a good time.
Actually, I remember I was side of stage watching you guys play in Sydney last time around. And you're right, watching the crowd. I know, Matt, you have this unbelievable ability to get the crowd doing exactly what you want.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, man. I'd say this country, being Florida kids, this reminds us of everything that is Florida, all the best parts of Florida, but the whole thing. The whole country is all the best parts of Florida, but year-round. And certainly some of the most devoted and incredible Trivium fans we have in the entire world here.
Wow, that's good to
it's
hear.
A good spot.
You're a foodie. Have you
Yes.
have you been picking out on anything? Is there
Bris-
something that you only kind of get here? Do you think that we do better?
The Southeast Asian food in Australia is particularly some of the best you can find in the world. No offense to Brisbane people, but Brisbane is always hard for me to find the right thing. There is a good ramen place called Taro's I went to last time. Last night I went to the Alliance Hotel, which is really good for gastropub kind of food. But we're looking forward to getting to Melbourne, where a lot of the crazy Southeast Asian amazingness is, like Malaysian food, Thai food, Singaporean food. Tomorrow night there's a good place for Malaysian food that we're going to go after the show. So it's all planned up here.
And you've got to include at least one Parma.
Oh, yeah, Parma chips.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I remember the first time someone told me that was like traditional here. I was like, that's so freaking awesome.
It's a great pub meal.
Yeah.
Sixth album, out last year. Have you found now that you've lived with the album for a little bit, are there some songs that you just don't even play live? I mean, I'm sure that's the way with every album, but...
Yeah, it's just hard having so many songs to pick from, and there's always songs that are kind of like the staples that people expect every time you play. And we try to, as the album, the more we tour for the record, we try to rotate songs in there and play some more songs. So we've been playing, the last tour we did, we added 2 more songs to the set. So tonight there are going to be 3 new songs. With the amount of time that we have tonight, we want to make sure we have all the old stuff that people want to hear, and at least like a surprise or two. So yeah, it's we always go into touring that we want to play every song from the record, but it's just sometimes it's like impossible unless you're playing like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, very
hard.
difficult on a festival like this when the set times are a lot shorter as well.
Incredibly difficult. That's why we need to come back for a proper headliner and play 90 to 120 minutes.
Yeah,
That's what
nice.
Europe just got. Europe just got a massive set, a 90-minute plus set.
Oh, nice.
So we need that here.
Are you guys going to fall into that thing that a lot of people are doing now and play a whole album in full?
No, too many albums to do that now. I mean, with six records, it's like, and especially with the way our fans
Any anniversaries coming up?
Yeah, the Ascendancy anniversary is. But our fans, there's so many factions of Trivium fans, ones that their favorite is the first, second, or third, or fourth, or fifth, or sixth. No one can seem to agree as far as our fans go.
That's a terrible problem to have, by the way.
Yeah, I know. So at least they're fighting over their favorite.
Also, like newer fans, there's like younger fans that their favorite record's In Waves because that was like the first time they heard us. Like usually people have like their favorite record is like the one they get kind of like sucked into the band by. And so there's like fans that like Vengeance Falls is their favorite, some like In Waves is their favorite, or Ascendancy or Shogun. So it's like, we pick up new fans along the way on every album, so people kind of like have like a special thing with that particular record at that moment. So it's great that there's fans that their favorite record is you could pick any of the 6, which is good, instead of everyone just likes the first one.
I think Ascendancy was the one where I first sort of got into Trivium and then went, this is my favorite, then Shogun, and it was like, well, no, this one's better. So, but you've had a natural progression for me. I go, well, now I'm looking forward to every, you get into bands and you go, oh, they've got a new album, I might check that out. But now I actually actively seek out. If you guys are doing because I want to know what's coming next.
People don't know what's going to happen with our
Yeah.
records. None are the exact same.
No.
Which I think it's important to have. My favorite bands are always the ones that every record was different from the other.
That's maybe why I'm a huge Queen fan because every album was
especially
so
Queen.
completely different.
From every song to song on every album.
Yeah. One of my favourite songs on Vengeance Falls is Brave the Storm.
Thanks, man.
But I was just thinking sort of outside the box, and this is a stupid thing. Have you ever had to, doing so many festivals and gigs, have you had to brave a storm? Has there been a situation where you've gone, oh, this is getting a little bit hairy now?
Well, we have a lot of songs that reference water. So whenever we've played outside festivals, we always it could be sunny all day and then it rains during our set.
We drove through a hurricane once to make a Florida show.
Really?
In like 2004. But it wasn't like disastrous, but it was a hurricane.
Dedication.
Yeah.
So
I like
it's,
In a van.
The rain's starting to pick up right now, so probably by the time we play...
It always rains when we play.
Yeah.
Like when we're a local band, every time we'd go like pack up our cars to go play our local show, it'd start raining.
Now you're heading to South Africa. South Africa?
Yep.
After this, have you played there before?
First time.
There's a lot of bands now are making that move into South Africa. I don't know what's happened recently, but maybe it's an acceptance to heavier music, but there's a lot of bands that are now starting to head over there.
I'm looking forward to getting there. I mean, I have no idea what to expect aside from what I've learned of South Africa's dark past and District 9. So hopefully there aren't aliens there when we get there. Yeah. But Anthony Bourdain just did an episode there for a CNN show, and it looks like the food's awesome there. So that's the first thing I'm going to do.
You're a Bourdain fan as well, then?
Oh, yeah, he's my hero.
Oh, man. The Layover is great, and no reservations.
Yep, he is my hero.
North American tour coming up with Volbeat as well. So they're on Soundwave. And
yeah, we're on tour with every band we've ever toured with on
this is
tour.
Crazy.
I just saw the Asking Alexander guys who were just on tour with. Just saw Amon Amarth, who we've toured with a bunch of times. Five Finger Death Punch is here. It's like every band we've ever toured with is here right now.
That's it must feel like this festival must almost feel like home for you guys.
High school
now.
Reunion.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I just ran in Day to Remember. You know, we've toured with them. I was in one of their videos. That's just everyone.
Oh, that's right. All I Want video.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah. All right. Now we're going to get to these generic questions. First guitar. I need to know the stories of the first guitars, how it came about, what was the influence, did your parents buy it, that kind of deal.
My first guitar was a Epiphone Les Paul Standard.
Oh, jeez, it's shooting straight to the top, some people.
Well, I wanted to play guitar. My parents were like, if you save up half the amount of money, we'll pitch in the other half. So I mowed lawns and did all that stuff. And I ordered Epiphone SG from Musician's Friend magazine, which was only like $179 US, so it really wasn't that expensive. And the amp was like $30. But I put in the order, and the guitar that showed up was an Epiphone Les Paul Standard, which was like $500-something, and I didn't get charged anything for it. And I was really stoked because the first band I ever got into that got me interested in music was Guns N' Roses. So I was really stoked to have a guitar that looked like something Slash would play. But unfortunately, that's the only guitar out of any guitar in my life that I've gotten that I sold. So I don't have that. That's the only guitar I don't have.
So are you hoarding them, or is it you just can't bear
I
to
don't
part
like
with
to, I don't
them?
like to get rid
He
of
has
them.
like 70 in his garage.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like to get rid of gear. So my garage is just like, my car sits outside the whole time I'm on tour. My garage is filled with like every piece of gear that I've ever bought or
That's
played
amazing.
with. So.
What about you, Matt?
The first guitar I'm ever pictured with, I was like 4 months old, and it's a Steinberger headstockless G2. The first guitar I ever got was one of those like $50 Strat packs. The first real guitar I ever got was a Gibson Les Paul Custom. So I was majorly spoiled on my first guitar. That's the same guitar that I recorded most of the records with, and that's the guitar that was the basis for my Epiphone signature.
So you're a hoarder as well, can't get rid of them?
I had to sell about 15 guitars or 20 guitars to pay rent during a couple bad years of our band, so that was really depressing.
See, that's something that people don't realize.
Yep, they don't. They think just because you're signed, you're a millionaire. That's the complete opposite is true. Yeah.
Have you had those moments there where you've gone, oh, I've got a little bit of extra money, might buy another, something around. What have you bought that you wouldn't ordinarily have bought, do you think?
I don't really spend money on anything.
Just because you just don't know.
Food is the only thing I spend money on.
And that's a hell of a luxury.
Yeah.
It's not
Every
a bad
once
way
in
to
a while,
go.
I might, if I'm going to buy anything expensive, it's usually like some kind of piece of guitar gear.
Yeah.
Because then you can just write it off tax-wise. But all my favorite guitars, I just get them from my endorsement company because I have my own signature.
We get discounts, so that's nice.
So, it's usually I don't like just spend anything crazy just to like have something that I don't use. Like everything's, I might go on a little iTunes splurge, but like, nothing crazy.
So it's just necessities.
Yeah,
you don't go crazy.
Necessities, and then once I go home off tour, I I can go out and do whatever I want, have fun with my friends, go out bar hopping and stuff like that. That's kind of like more of, I spend more money probably just going out to bars with friends when I'm at home than buying anything like expensive just for fun. I guess.
Just good food and booze. That's all my wife and I spend our money on.
I'm with you with that
whether
one.
it's cooking it or going out to get it.
Do you get much time now because you're always touring to cook for yourself?
I never cook on tour. It's impossible, but at home I'm always cooking.
Yeah.
Always.
What's your signature? Would you
well,
say?
I always kind of go off books, so I'm kind of like making as many things out of cookbooks as I can. But my recent favorite cookbook to cook out of is called Jerusalem by a chef named Ottolenghi. So I made like Jerusalem-style lamb shawarma without even having to have the spit. So it was like 20 different spices that marinate a giant hunk of lamb for, I guess, 2 days, and then cook that. Then I had the idea
I don't have the patience for dude. I don't have patience. I would come around after the 2 days and go, Matt, feed me the shawarma.
Right when I finished Bourdain's book, the first thing I ever made was lamb stock and demi-glace, which took like, I think it was 12 hours to make lamb stock, another 18 total of boiling lamb bones, turn it into demi-glace. So I like to start with the really difficult stuff.
Can you believe this?
I eat a lot.
Oh, I can tell.
I also do a lot to counteract it.
Oh, okay.
Yoga, jiu-jitsu, weights, cardio, shows.
Yeah, the shows would be. Yeah. That's a hell of a cardio. Well, boys, thank you very much for hanging around and sharing your time with us.
Awesome.
Have a
Thanks,
blast
man.
on the tour. It's great to see you back in Australia.
Hopefully you can check us out, I hope.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stick your head out there or something.
Yeah, I will be. Don't worry.
Brave the Storm is the first song.
Oh, very nice. Well, I'm happy then.
Hey, this is Corey.
And this is Matt. We're from the band Trivium.
And you're listening to Distortion on Triple M.